Creepy Crawler RC, back at you guys in another video. Just like always, let's hop right into it. So we're going to add some wheel weights to this aluminum wheels we got here. So we're actually going to add some brass. I think these are like 64 or 74 ounces. Then we're going to add these here, which is 7 grams or 1/4 ounce sticky weights for like car tires. They bend, they have adhesive already on them. They work really well. So first thing you guys want to do if you guys got aluminum bead locks is to pull your 6 here in the center. Your 6 lugs, like your lug nuts. You want to pull all 6 of those, and this will come off on the back. This is your hex adapter. This is what goes to your wheel to your hex. You guys can see that. We can focus up here. Okay, so that would go here to there. Then once you get those 6 pulled and that hex off there, you can also pull these. All wheels are different. There's 4, 6, usually 4 to 6 back here. And that'll be right where the holes are around the outer side. You guys see them? Right around here. Those 6 holes, you want to pull all 6 of those, and then your wheel will actually split. So then you pull out the inner. Then you'll have the outer face. So you'll pull it. Then you'll be left with this, and this will be inside your actual tire. You'll actually have to pull it out from your foam. So when you guys get this out, it'll be all either aluminum or plastic, depending on what you guys got. Then you're going to clean this with rubbing alcohol. I always use 91% rubbing alcohol. Then you're going to take your wheel weights, pill them. Make sure you get it in the center of the actual bead itself. So we'll stick this right there. And everybody has their preference on if they want to weight their wheels or not. It all depends on what you guys are doing, or what you guys want. If you guys want a heavy rig, they do side hill a little bit better. But also you guys got to remember, going uphill or up a steep angle, it's a pain in the butt. So once you get those all stuck, you want to try to stick them as even as possible. This is actually a whole strip from here to here. So it almost covers it. And these are 2.2s. So there's 12 actual pieces per wheel that I've used. So once you guys get those stuck really, really good, make sure they don't come off. That's why I always rub alcohol. Make sure you got a good clean surface. Then this is where my little trick comes in. I take a actual rubber band, and I'll actually rubber band the whole weight down, so the adhesive has no chance to lift or fail, especially in the heat. Adhesive is known to let go when it gets real hot, but let's not give that a chance. Let's just lock her down. So then you'll have that locked down in there. So there's your inner wheel locked. Then you're going to stuff it back inside your foams or in your wheels. And this would be a good time if you guys got foams to swap them out, or if you guys have water or something in there, or dirt, it'd be a good time to clean them and let them dry out. So once you guys get those in there, you want to make sure you center your actual bead of your wheel. Is that the little lip? You want to make sure you center that actually on the lip itself in there, because if you guys clamp this wheel, make sure that foam ain't pushing up and around it, because if that foam is overflowing around there, you guys will actually pinch that in between the wheel. So that would be that. That would be a weighted outer weight style. And this is a hub style weight. So you're going to take your face of your rim and your hub weight, set it on here, line up your holes, take your hex adapter, and it'll sit down in there like this. Then usually these come with supplied longer hardware. And you're going to line up all your parts. I always try to get one started. You guys want to use your hands for this. Don't use impacts or anything. You'll make new threads, and that's never good. You'll cross thread everything. I don't use Loctite on the actual removable parts. The only thing I use Loctite on, and blue Loctite, not a lot of it. I use it on all these surrounding screws. And it ain't a lot. It'll come back off if I wanted it to, but that's something you rarely take off that much. If you do, it ain't hard to do. So I always put them all in at first, just to make sure they all thread in, because you can't have one hole off. All this stuff's made in gosh knows where. All the parts are different, all made by gosh know who. So parts and tolerances could line up just wrong enough that it won't work. So then, once you get them all in, I like to go snug the first pass, kind of like a tire in a star pattern. Just make sure that hex is sucked all the way down in there. Then once you get it all snugged up, then you actually give her the torque that you think it needs. Remember guys, these are just little screws. Don't need to go super duper crazy with it. Then I like to give them a once over just to make sure they're all about where I want them. Make sure none of the other ones actually loosened up. So once you guys get them all where you guys would like them, and you can get different length wheel spacers on the rear if you want, or the front to make them the offset crazier. So there's your outer and inner. Now be sliding inside, just like this one here. This will be what it looks like inside the rim. Or not inside the rim, inside the tire, my bad. So you actually slide inside of that. Inside that aluminum piece that we added the weights to. So you can double weight it like this. And so to do the tire, this is kind of a fun little trick here. You can actually, I like to do the face of the wheel first. And then if you have another wheel or another bead lock, you can put it right on there. Take your back piece. I like to put my screws all in first. Call me weird. I think it's a lot easier, especially when you got fat chubby fingers like I do. Sausages for fingers. This is what I like to do. I like to stick it on there onto the actual drill or driver itself. And then we're going to put them all on there. Kind of a long process getting these put all in here. But once you get them put in, it's pretty much back to go together. So then, once you get that pushed down, I know there's no foam. I cannot see no foam at all interrupting the actual bead itself and the tire. So that's what you don't want. And you see this lip here? You want to make sure it's actually faced onto the lip. See how that covers it? And that's actually what holds your wheel to your bead, aka bead lock. That's the reason they make them. So you don't have to have glued wheels or glued tires. So if you want to take them apart and do stuff like this, or if you get them wet, if you got vented tires. So then you want to make sure you get your, I always make sure I get my first couple screws lined up. Just a few turns in. And I go through all of them kind of like I did the last one, the last style. You're just doing kind of a star. And don't get them tight this round. And once you do that, so now it's all together, right? And I like to run them around my tire and kind of bend the sidewall. So I make sure that it's actually seated 100%. And you'll see if it ain't seated. But this is seated really well. Then we're going to get our driver. And I'm kind of a stickler about this. I like to barely snug them all up. Slowly. I like to work them around. So if you go too crazy on one side, it might bind it up and break off one of the ears on the rims. And one of those little tabs you don't want to break off, because then you'll be down to 5 holding the wheel together instead of 6. And let's face it, these things are not cheap. I think these wheels were a little over 60 bucks. These are SSDs. Had them for a long while now. I've never had an issue with them. I've been liking them. All the threads are holding in them. All the hardware is stainless, so you don't have to worry about rust when you wash them, or double D40 them, or whatever you guys want to do to them, or leave them muddy. You don't have to worry about nothing crazy going on there with corrosion issues.